Welcome to Unbiased and On the Fence. I'm Shane. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this wonderful Saturday, April 24th. Joined by my co-host, Eileen. What's up, Eileen?
Hey, it's so good to see you. I was just telling Shane that it felt like months since we've done this, like 3 months,
Right.
right?
Yeah, it's just been a month.
Gosh, oh my gosh, it seems like ages.
It really does.
And I really enjoyed catching up with you and Michelle the other day too. It was like, it just, it sometimes when there's a little space in between things, it gives you more appreciation for them.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny how that's worked out because just the way I'd already, I guess, late last year, kind of been moving towards music. I did the intro to the IMEC, the new show, Open Tables that we have for
Yeah,
IMEC.
yeah.
Well, we actually have one coming up this weekend, and I've got links in the description for you guys. But that's going to be a live show over at the YouTube channel for IMEC.
It's such a good show. I mean, not just because I was on the last one, but it is fun. It's like once a month, is it? And it's all about Mandela effects, and it has a theme. Like our theme was golden animals.
Yeah,
Remember?
it
And
was
the previous one was the golden timeline. So it's more focused.
right,
It's like a focused Mandela effect deep dive.
right. And then we look at current stuff too that's happening. Well, it's not always current for everyone. Sometimes people are like, "Yeah, I saw that like 3 years ago."
It's good though. It's really good. It feels like just like a mini seminar, like a mini, what was it? What we did, the Mandela Effect conference. You
Exactly.
get like a little bit of it. You get like an hour of it.
Yeah. Which is great now, especially with, everything going online and everything. It gives us something to do in between in-person conferences. So it's
Yeah,
beautiful.
and the music for the intro was very professional. I mean, it sounds like a professional show. It
And
could
I
be
don't
on
know if you
Gaia
recognize it, but it's sailing. It's a little snippet of the sailing melody. So
with
check that.
Christopher Cross,
Christopher
Crisscross
Cross is, yep.
Sailing. Yeah, I love that song.
Yeah, that song had come into my awareness synchronistically. And then after watching one of Vanessa VA's videos, I mean, right at the end of her talking about this, sailing just started playing, because she
I
was talking
remember.
about
I
the,
saw that.
and I was like blown away because I hadn't heard that song in years. And
Yeah, it really is has more meaning now maybe than it did back then.
just
And
like
I
she
mean, I
talks about,
was 20
just,
years old back then. That's
yeah,
40 years ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
How amazing it is that songs like Silent Lucidity was another one that, you
Yeah, I
know,
didn't hear that one.
yeah, if you listen to it now, it took on a whole, all this extra meaning about out of body or lucid dreaming and stuff like that. So,
Well,
yeah,
you're a songwriter, I'm a songwriter. Um, for me, songs have always come from somewhere else. They don't come from my brain, they don't come from my heart. It's like I channel them from somewhere else. So the fact that people hear really divine messages in songs doesn't surprise me because as a songwriter, they're coming from somewhere out of this realm, you
right.
know?
So the whole music thing, as I was leading out of the sailing intro and that music, and I was looking into some other projects just about meditation music and consciousness and binaural beats and things that's more like for, our group. And of course, I wanted to do something with my kids. I always try to, do stuff with my kids. But when Frank Zappa came through, on our last show, we talked about how I got an
Oh, the
image of him.
images. Yeah,
Yeah,
the ghostly images that you got by projecting some kind of mist,
yeah,
right?
from an essential oil. Actually, this one
There
right
you go.
back behind me here.
Yeah.
So you just do that, you videotape it, you go in slow motion. You guys can watch last month's Equinox video, and then I actually cut a section out of that one. That's just the
And you
part
you
about the,
uploaded it separately as well. If you
yeah.
guys haven't seen that yet, go see it because we know Shane is not giving us CGI. We know this is really essential oil mist, and you will see the faces appear.
It's crazy,
One of
isn't
which
it?
was Frank Zappa, right?
Right, yeah, and which was weird because I didn't know who he was. Of course, I'd heard the name before, but not enough that I would think, oh, that looks like Frank Zappa. I actually
No.
thought it looked like Charles Manson, and I heard Frank Zappa in my head. So I go, and actually, there's a Mandela effect. Do you remember when I was on? I was like, hey, there's this documentary coming out around Thanksgiving this year.
Yes.
So I went and looked at that article, and it came out last Thanksgiving. And the
Oh,
article that I was reading actually now came out like 2 days before it was actually released last Thanksgiving. So there's a Mandela effect since our last show. The movie's already out now. You guys don't have to wait. You can go watch it. I didn't watch it
wow.
yet, but I just found
Okay,
out.
I'll
I'm
go
like,
watch
oh,
it. Do you remember what it's called? Do you
It's
remember what
just
it's
if you look
called?
up Frank Zappa documentary, it might just
Okay.
be called that or something, or named after a song. So I didn't know any of his songs or anything, and so I looked while I was looking in to see if I heard anything. I got caught this interview with his daughter where they were talking about how like his most popular song was one he did with his daughter. And she was like, "Oh, I didn't really care about the music. I was just wanting to spend time with my dad or whatever." And I felt like that's what Frank was telling me. Like, of course, you want to get into your music, but enjoy your time with your kids with the music because they love music too. So I've shared a link below. It's called Love Train, and it's the first creation with me and my kids working together. And
Seriously?
yeah,
Which
it's in the
kids? All of them?
nope, just two of them, my son and my daughter. One of my sons and one of my daughters. So
And their names?
Bethany and Ezekiel.
Okay. Oh, Ezekiel. Do you call
Yeah.
him Zeke?
Yep. Zeke. Yep.
Okay, that is so cool. So I'm definitely, as soon as we're off here, unless you want to play it now, because you won't give yourself a copyright strike, right?
Yeah, but you
Right?
won't be able to hear it, and it's like 6 minutes long too. So
Okay,
it's actually
because
electronic dance music. So it'd be good for working out or high vibe, getting your blood pumping or anything
sometimes
like
I
that.
need high vibe. I mean, I do play a lot of meditation music so that I can ohm and really get into it.
Yeah.
My favorite is Higher Rising. Is that what it's called? She's from New Zealand. Her name is Jess. Higher Rising. She does spoken meditations and she does meditation music. But she's got like 500,000 followers now. I've been
Oh
following her
wow.
for a few years and I've just gotten used to her style, but sometimes I just need something to amp me up and get me going and recharge my batteries.
Absolutely. So
I can't wait to hear it.
besides the music, I want to bring something else up that was super important because I got an email from someone that watched their last one who was really upset about their mother passing away. And he was like, show me how to do this. I want to contact my mother. And I don't want to give any names or anything because the person
No.
never hit me back. But I'm thinking maybe they didn't give me the right email. So I want to say it here just in case. But, and I was actually brought to tears when this happened. So I guess what I'm feeling like happened is my mother and this guy's mother coordinated because they knew I would tell him the right thing, right? So basically, this guy's been suffering with a lot of guilt because I guess his mother was close to death, and he had to take care of her, he or she, and but they had to work, and they were just worn out, and they felt like they didn't spend enough time or use the time wisely. And I struggled with that for years with my own mom, because she lived like way out in like a nearby town, and a few times I was too lazy to drive out there. I'm like, oh, mom, it's like 9 at night. And she just wanted me to go spend the night, and we were going to fall asleep right away anyway. But years of like, and I guess I realized it once I had my own kids that, like, man, that would be so awful for my kid to be so upset about something like that. Especially when my mom kind of gave me like the little pity party thing, almost jokingly, not even, she didn't really want me to feel bad about it, and when I realized that, I just felt this huge weight lift off me. So when I got this email, I knew right away. I'm like, dude, you just, appreciate the good times with your mom. She does not want you to feel guilty about time you didn't spend.
We're
And
just
then,
too good at guilt. We are too good at that.
and
You
how
just
many
got to
people are
let it
dealing
go.
with that,
So
with
many
guilt?
people.
And their loved
My
ones would not want them to feel guilty about
no. I
anything.
mean, whoever you are, if your mother could talk to you, the first thing she would tell you is to stop feeling guilty. You know that. You know
That
she
was
would just give
exactly
you a
what came
hug.
through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loud and clear. And it brought me to tears because I'm like, wow, I mean, even if the video was just done for that one person or anybody listening now, it's so worth it. You know what I mean?
So
Because,
worth it. So my husband was very close to his mom and his dad, but closer to his mom because she raised him during World War II when his dad was away for 3 years. So he had to get into that bonding afterwards and really close to his sister. It was really just the four of them. And he was young and his mom was very sick for 10 years and she was kind of dying with cancer, but at home um, for a couple of years. And he had a job opportunity that was in Sweden. And he's like, Mom, I don't know if I should go. And she's like, Go, go, go to Sweden. You'll be back. You'll be back in 6 months. You'll be back in a year. So he went. And of course, his mom died when he went to Sweden. So here I am marrying this man, falling in love with him at the age of 50. And he's still carrying that around. And I think she died when he was 20. So he carried that for 30 years. And I'm like, boy, oh boy, if your mom was sitting in this chair right now next to you, the first thing she would tell you is to drop that guilt, because no matter what we do, I was there in the hospice holding my mom's hand as she took her last breath. And I recognized the last breath. It was 2 a.m. and I was always listening while sleeping and laying in a chair next to her, holding her fingers because I didn't want to hurt her. She was so frail. And I just sat up and I knew that was her last breath. And even if we're with our loved ones at the moment of their passing, we carry the guilt and go, I could have done that better. I'm sure I could have done this, or maybe I could have done that. I was sleeping right before she passed. Why wasn't I awake and talking to her and telling her I loved her? So even if you do everything right, as human beings, we find what we didn't do right. We find the bits that we think we could have done better.
And then we focus on that instead of thinking about all of the good times,
Yeah.
And the thing is, I actually had this conversation. This is so funny to say because it sounds so weird coming from me probably, but I had this conversation with my mom driving in the car yesterday, just in my head. And because I had the music off and everything. Whoops. So I had a good memory of my dad come through, and I was kind of just thinking about my dad, and I thought about my mom, and I was thinking about how I dealt with so much guilt and didn't want to think about her after she passed away for so long. And then that period of sort of hospice care, it had been a while since I'd had healthy, good looking mom memories. Do you know what I mean? Because there were so many years of her dealing with the stroke and then the hospice and all of that. So
definitely.
And then not wanting to think about her for so long. But after some time, when all of the memories are older, then it's kind of easier to jump over those what were once recent memories of her being in hospice and jump over to the better memories. But a lot of those had faded because she died when I was 19, and while I'm pondering, so while I'm pondering all of this, I felt like she came through to me and it was saying that, we can always communicate, and we do always communicate. Most of us do it. And then we'll write it off in our mind, oh, I'm just hearing my dad say, because he said that when he was here. So it's, and then I would hear his voice when he was still alive. But there is this element of the higher self going on. And we don't realize that we really, truly are hearing our mother or father's voice and having these conversations. Right. And we think we're silly, but it's really happening.
You're a medium, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
But look at what you produced in that glass with that essential oil steam.
That's so crazy.
It's just showing us that their energy is always with us and always available, because this matrix is not what you think it is. It's not just the world of the living and then the people who pass on disappear and they're gone. That's not how it works here.
Yeah. These really are just vessels, suits that we're wearing.
And they're still around us and they're still with us, because the matrix that we're seeing, I'm convinced now, is less and less real. Every day I learn something, Shane, that tells me that this reality that we think works in a particular way because that's what they told us. No, that's not how it works. And every day I learn something more about how really unusual and mysterious and miraculous our reality is. And what was the Mandela effect that brought us together, Shane? It was the wake-up call that things are not as you think they are, right?
Right. And synchronicities have really been ramping up lately. Have they, for you and your daughter, your family and everybody?
Well, I haven't noticed because I'm studying so much the gamer's theory of the universe, which is not me. I'm not a gamer. That I'm not noticing the synchronicities because I'm feeling like every single second of life is a synchronicity. Right. And once you're in the synchronicity mode, there's nothing but synchronicity. So you don't notice them anymore. You're in it. I can't describe it. It's like, guys, look up the gamer's theory of the universe. And Shane and I have touched on it many, many times. But this is a little bit more specific because I don't do virtual reality. Did you ever do a virtual reality game?
Mm-hmm.
So the way they describe it is they call it the headset. They say everything in this reality is not in this reality. It's in the headset. Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so somebody who hasn't done virtual reality has to realize that the way you enter it is not by walking into something like a booth or a room. You put on a headset and suddenly your whole world, you're in that world. And when you move your hand, the person in that world moves a hand, right?
Right.
Okay, so now you know that you're seeing the world through the headset. And if you take the headset off, you're actually in what you think is the real world, which is your material world, right?
Right.
So the whole point that I'm trying to get to in the long about way is that they say you can't understand the creator of the headset and the controller of the headset. Like, we're like, oh, is it me, my higher self? Is it God? Is it some teenager sitting in a basement somewhere creating this virtual reality for me to experience? So we're like, what is out there? We don't know, right?
Right.
And they're saying you have to get out of the headset to see who made the headset and who's running it. And I'm like, well, wait a minute. That means we have to get out of our given reality. We have to step out of here to see what really here is. Like, is it a projection of something? Is it just, am
Absolutely.
I sleeping somewhere and I'm just dreaming this whole thing? Right? It's getting very deep. How do you step out? Well, this is where we know the answer is you step in. You either do it through intense prayer or meditation. You change your altered state of consciousness. You do it by going in. So you go in to go out.
Right.
Okay. And then you can practice lucid dreaming. You can practice astral projection. You can practice talking to your dead loved ones, and then might hear them speaking back.
Mm-hmm.
All kinds of things happen when you go in to go out, but you have to get out all the way. And this is what this is led up to. And it says, to do that, you need silence. And I'm like, what? Because I do led meditations here. I speak through the meditation so that you can relax and just kick back and just follow my words and know that I'm going to take you somewhere safe and somewhere loving, because you know me, right? So it said silence. And I'm like, why silence? Because the minute you hear a voice, you're in the headset. The
Right.
minute you hear meditation music, you're in the headset. The whole goal is to get out of the headset, get out of the given reality. And the only way you can get out of our matrix is through complete silence. So I'm like, bing, because I've really been using a lot of meditation music the last 10 years to meditate too. So now I meditate once a day for 30 minutes with a lovely guided meditation or music. And then I meditate for 30 minutes a day, separate from that, in pure silence. Pure silence. And what I have learned by doing this is crazy, because I used to only meditate in silence. And then I got addicted to the music and the person, like, what's his name? Brian. Oh, he's so good. Nancy told me about him. Do you know Brian? Oh,
No,
what's
sorry.
his name? He does super guided meditations like
I
every
think it's the guy
Saturday.
that Michelle mentions sometimes too, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't
Somebody
remember
in
his
the
name.
in the chat's
Yeah,
gonna
somebody
mention
in the
his name.
chat. Type his name in there, guys. Thanks.
Brian. He wrote a book too. Not Brian Parks. Brian somebody. He does like an hour, 2 hour guided meditation. I love those.
It's not Brian.
Get
Is it Brian Scott?
Yes, Brian
Brian
Scott.
Scott. Okay, that's not who I was thinking it was, but he's good.
Aren't
I
his
like him.
guided meditations awesome?
I don't ever do his I don't do
Oh
guided
man.
meditations ever. Other
You
than
do
yours.
silence?
I do silence, or if I'm having a difficult time, like it's noisy, I'll put on white noise or binaural beats, just pure binaural beats, and that's just to
Not
drown out
with
the
music,
sound.
not music with binaural
No,
beats, which is so popular.
I tend to either like sounds of nature, like be out in nature, but still you're hearing the sounds of of the
Okay, so
headset.
when you're
But
doing silence, Shane, give us some share on where you go and what you see, because apparently you get out of the matrix through the silence. Tell us what some of your journeys have been and what you've seen and heard when you
well,
were in
that's
silence.
well, that's definitely where I get the broader perspective of how everything's working out, and like now with everything going on, most of us can look at the news and from a 3D perspective, we're like, oh my God, everything's going to, you know, crud right now, right? So,
Yeah. It's like,
right? But it's like, how many times have we said, what's it going to take for these people to wake up, right? There's our answer. You put those two things together. That's the type of thing that I get when I pull out of myself that's looking around and, the whole walk by faith and not by sight. That's your faith comes from when you go to that divine, before you
your faith comes from within.
yeah, that divine spark. Yeah, that peace.
So you've been doing it right. What you're telling me as a gamer, were you a gamer? Were you ever a gamer?
Yeah,
Did you play
still a
video
gamer.
games?
Yeah. We're all
That's
gamers.
why.
We just don't know it.
Exactly. So the last game that I really played, I mean, okay, I did Wii with my daughter and her friends when they were like 10 years old because, it was fun. But the real video gaming that I did was Space Invaders and Pong. You're talking day one of video games. Before there was Donkey Kong or Mario or color, there was no color on my games. They were just little blips doing things, right?
Right. ColecoVision. Did you have the ColecoVision one with the big knobs?
No, I had Atari.
Oh, okay. ColecoVision was before Atari. It just had two big
kidding.
knobs and two switches, and it just had two. It was the Pong game, but that's all the whole system did was the Pong thing.
Was Pong. So I'm not a gamer, and now I'm looking at the world through gamers' eyes and saying, you know what? Everything around you is not what you think it is. Everything around you is not what they've told you. And you learn this as a conspiracy theorist, which is actually being a truther. You're not a conspiracy theorist. You're not running around going, I need to find a good conspiracy today. Although sometimes it feels like that. When you find a really good rabbit hole, you're like, I found something very entertaining to go down. And we love going down those rabbit holes. They usually don't lead to truth. They just lead to like a dead end where you crawl back out and you're all dirty and you're like dusty and you're like, wow, they really lied to me. They really lied to me about these things. And once you learn that, you can never see them as being truthful again. So now you're a truther. You're just running around this matrix, hearing, seeing, eating, sleeping, hugging people, breathing the air when you can, right? And you're trying to figure out, what is this place I'm in? How does it operate? Who created it? Okay, I believe in God, so I'm a God person, right? But I don't see God as a little white man who looks like Santa Claus sitting on a cloud. I see God in everything, every tree, every leaf, every raindrop, every bug. Everything around me has God in it. And it kind of freaks people out because I take it even further and I'm like, these crystals are God. There's God in these crystals, and these crystals are actually alive. Because did you know crystals never stop growing?
Really?
But they grow at such a slow pace that we can't notice it. So this is alive by definition. When they said if it's alive, it moves. Do you remember learning that in school?
I know that I've learned that rocks and everything that seems solid and unmoving are still vibrating and moving. They're
still
slower.
moving. Yeah. Okay, let's take that further then. Every single thing, this cup with my sunflowers that my daughter gave me has atoms in it. What are the atoms doing in my cup?
All wiggling around in there.
They're moving. This is alive, okay?
Yeah.
If it's alive and it's got atoms moving in it, it's God. It's part of God. It's part of, all of God's creation. So, yeah, I'm really out there now on this stuff. But the gamer's theory of the universe is just opening my eyes to the fact that I need to be quiet, silent, meditate, go within, get outside of me, and then see what created me, what's operating the matrix. Is it a hologram? And then at that point, when you get outside of yourself, it doesn't matter. You're like, why do you care what's operating the matrix? You're just alive. Enjoy it. You don't need to know who's running the show, who's running the projector, right? Yeah. You don't need to see that. So that's where I am right now.
Well, I think Dr. Donald Hoffman, who does research into like our reality and how much we see is accurately depicts what we see, how much of it is truth. And he's been able to sort of at fitness points to like survival and things like that and come up with a hypothesis that, the surviving species tend not to see the truth at all. I mean, like,
Oh,
if you
wow.
do see the truth, your chances of survival are, aren't very good. But if you just see what you need to see to survive, and it's able to wean out, even if it's not the truth, then
But maybe
so
that's how you graduate. Maybe those who don't see the truth and they survive and they get to stay in this matrix forever. We call that survival. But then the ones who do see the truth, who don't survive, maybe they just graduated. Maybe that's how you get your graduation cap is poof, you're gone. You're no
right,
longer viable in this matrix because you see the truth. You're no longer being fooled by the matrix. Therefore, the matrix is doing nothing for you. Therefore, you have no reason to stay in this matrix. So you're gone. And everybody goes, oh, they died. They died. They left the matrix.
right. But really, they
But
just went to the boss level and went up a level. Yeah.
they just went up a level. They just went up a level to another matrix that might teach them something, because once you're no longer learning in your matrix, is there maybe you stop engaging with it. It's like, oh, I'm so bored with, okay, in Mario, when you get stuck in a world and you can't get out of that world, you're so bored, you never go back to it, you just don't play it because you're like, that is so boring,
Right.
right?
But you
So
don't want to be
maybe,
able to run through it too easily either. I mean, there needs to be this balance. That's why everybody wants everything to be like, bunny rabbits and rainbows and stuff, but it would
yeah, we
get boring
do.
after a while. I mean, I was there too, but now I realize I can see the beauty of the duality, you know what I mean? And just take part in what I want to create, which is
I
love
get
and
you.
light. And you know what I mean? And I can see how the difficult things challenge us and make us stronger, and the darkness makes the light even brighter. And so I don't really have the problems I had before with everything. I see how things are working out, and I see how, like I was just saying, there's one level where we wonder what it's going to take to wake people up, but then we look around and it's like, well, this is what it's going to take to wake people up, evidently,
And maybe they're
because
not
people
ready to
are
wake
waking
up.
up.
And why should they wake up according to your alarm clock? It's
Right?
like, just let them go, let them sleep. They'll wake up when they're ready. You don't need
Exactly.
to wake them up, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But when we first got struck by the Mandela effect, we were all running around going, look at this, everybody. This reality is not real. Look what's happening. We were trying to get everybody to wake up so that we didn't feel alone, so that we didn't feel crazy. And the more people we found who saw the Mandela effect, the better we felt. It
Hmm.
made us feel safe.
Absolutely, because man, can you imagine if no one else saw it? You'd be like, you wouldn't tell anybody anything. You're like, oh
Maybe
my
that's the way
gosh.
it should be. Maybe the most growth comes from you seeing something in the matrix that nobody else sees but you. Now, are you going to doubt it? Are you going to think you're crazy? What are you going to do?
I
You're
probably
the
think I
only
was
one who sees it.
crazy. I don't know. I'm so glad that I at least see other people are experiencing the same shifts. You know what I mean? Like there's other people that remember the turkey leg in the guy's hand.
Yeah,
The
or Stouffer's stovetop stuffing instead of
right.
Kraft stovetop
Because you'd say,
stuffing.
where
Or,
did I get that? Why would I think Stofers? Wouldn't even have
yeah,
known about Stofers if it wasn't for stovetop stuffing. So, like,
yeah.
where did I make that up from? And you
Like,
go,
I'm so doubled up on Mandela effects now. I don't know if it's Jif or Jiffy because I'm like, yeah. When somebody goes, it's Jif, I'm like, yeah. And when they go, no, it's Jiffy, I'm like, yeah, you're right. You're both right.
so have you? I was recently talking to someone. They were talking about people observing two different realities in the same reality. So like I'm telling you, hey, Jiffy went back to Jiffy, and you look it up, and you're like, no, it's still Jiff, and I'm like, no, it's Jiffy. And have you
Yep.
seen anything like that?
I have. I have. I've seen it where we all get the same flip flop. Flintstones freaked me out when there was no T in it. I verified it and I'm like, nope, 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 nope. I watched that show every day after school as a kid when it was on reruns. And then it went back to Flintstones. And everybody's like, hey guys, it's back to Flintstones. And the tea popped back. And I was like, yeah, everybody's sharing that one with me. But I'm having personal ones where nobody shares the flip flops with me. And I spoke to Jen from Jen's Gems, and she says that happens to her all the time. And she's been in that mode for a lot longer than me. So she thinks it's normal now for things to flip and flop constantly on her, and she's the only one who experiences it. And I'm like, doesn't that drive you crazy? Isn't that lonely? And she's like, no, you get used to it. It is at first. But when you accept that your reality is what your reality is,
Hmm.
why would that upset you? Why, it just means that you can't share with people, right? Because they'll just go, huh? What are you talking about? So I think she sees it as timeline jumping a lot back and forth into different realities. And I always see, I agree with her. I'm like, yep. And I said, but I'm just sitting in one room and I've got the headset on, but my headset tuner is wonky and it's bringing in different channels. So one day it's bringing in this channel and this is what I see. And then the next day, boom, it brings in a different channel. And I'm like, oh, that's different now.
Right. Which means we're thinking about it a completely the wrong way. You know what I mean? Because if that was the case, if you were able to time travel back, things wouldn't look the way they looked in your memories, right? Because you're on
And
a
we
different
can.
channel.
That is the
You're going
time
to go
travel
and,
key.
yeah.
So, you guys, if you wanted the secret to time travel, it's actually within you.
It's
And
in
if
the
you want to
now.
go time travel, just go do it. Go back to a time. But you know what? It can be scary when you time travel because maybe you can't control, oh, yeah, I'm in the Middle Ages and they're like all really nice people, and nobody smells and everybody takes a bath. I don't think so. I think if you're going to time travel, you might get what was real at that time. And that might be a bit scary, right?
Yeah. And then in the future, you don't know what you're going to run into. I don't know. There's plenty to do in the now for me. I don't know. I guess I wanted to kind of maybe take a
Yeah.
peek. If there was a
I'm not going to go
screen
into the
viewer,
future because I'm enjoying the now.
yeah.
But I wouldn't mind doing a bit of time travel and remote viewing. Everybody can remote view. Go ahead and read all those books on the Monroe Institute and the CIA and the men that looked at goats. Do you remember that movie? They were like taught in the army how to remote view and like they just wanted to stare at a goat, the men who stared at goats until it like fell over and they're like, fall over, fall over, fall over. And then boom, the goat would fall over. And they're like, yeah, we really accomplished something. All of that is open to you. It's all based on how brave you are. How far do you want to go into the reality of non-reality where things don't have rules anymore?
Right. There's another weird Mandela effect that just came up that in this show called Jericho. It's a really old show. I want to say maybe 20 years old. Anyway, my wife and son were watching it, and she took a picture of cup of noodles. Cup of noodles, right? Not cup o noodles, like cup of
Cup
noodles, but
oh
cup of
noodles.
noodles with the F on there too. And
Cup
she's
of
like,
noodles.
isn't this a Mandela effect? I'm like, yeah, yeah, definitely. So we looked into it, and now the official history is it did start out as cup of noodles in like 1973 and went until like 1993 where they changed it to just cup noodles, no O in there or no of or nothing, just cup noodles. And it's been that way since 93, but over 80% of the people polled think it's cup of noodles. And then they actually, in the article, say it sounds like one of those Mandela effects. So it's the word's getting out.
The word is getting out, but
Yeah.
what's happening now is that corporate America,
Trying to
through the
cover up.
government sanction, is covering up Mandela effects by like, okay, I took pictures at a Hallmark, not dropping a name, of Mickey Mouse with a tail next to Mickey Mouse without a tail. And one wasn't old and one wasn't new. It was the same character doing the same thing. And his tail didn't fall off because Mickey Mouse couldn't decide that day whether Mickey Mouse had a tail or not. Okay. I know his suspenders is a big one. The disappearing yellow suspenders on the red shorts is a big deal for people. But this was my day of, was Mickey going to have a tail or not? So the matrix is deciding, and I think it's actually deciding based on collective consciousness, which is all about Carl Jung, this great brilliant, I think he was Swiss psychologist, who said everything around you is run and decided by collective consciousness. So if the majority of humans in that moment on this space time that we're in thought that Mickey had a tail, then when I go shopping for a Mickey Mouse, he's going to have a tail. But if the majority of humans think he doesn't have a tail, and this is all in their subconscious mind, they're not walking around doing their life thinking, does Mickey have a tail or not? It's all subconscious. Then I'm going to find what the collective consciousness wants it to be. I'm like, wow. Okay, if that's true, then anything is possible on any day based on collective consciousness. Right? If
Right.
if collective consciousness is steering the boat here,
Hmm.
then the boat is going to flip and flop daily because how do you know what the subconscious of all humanity is thinking?
Right. Well, that was actually that's. I'm glad you said it because that came up in meditation too. It was like there's these key players, those that are awake and aware, and they have more influence over the collective. than say someone who's just and I'm not being condescending, but a lot of us are just working our 9 to 5. We're doing the grind, just trying to pay our bills, and we're not really thinking about that other stuff.
But you
Doesn't mean
see,
they're wrong, but
the
that's
ruling elite know this.
right,
So the
right.
ruling
That's
elite
how they
puts
try to
out the
keep us.
subliminals
Right.
so that they can steer the world. And then you and I and a bunch of us in our community comes along and we're like, now we're going to steer it this way towards love and
Exactly.
unity and doing what's best for all. And then ruling elite's like, no, we're not going there. We're
So
going to
then they
steer
try to
it
distract us, the
so
key
it's good for
players that are
us.
making the most influence on the network, the grid,
Yes.
right?
So
So if they can
we
keep
got
us
to
worried,
grow.
so we got to
You
stay on
got
the love train. That was basically
we got to
the
stay on the
message
love
I was
train.
getting.
And but
Observe everything, but stay on the love train.
you got to grow by a few thousand a year, and I got to grow by, I don't know, 500 a year. And then suddenly the ruling elite went, holy moly, there's so many people on YouTube and social media saying, hey guys, you want this world to be good? It's all based on your actions and your thoughts and your words in every moment. So be loving, be kind, be generous. And then that's the world you get. That's the world we create collectively. And they just put the brakes on that. And then suddenly we were all shadow banned and nobody could find us unless they already found us. So we've got our family, we've got our community. That's not being taken away from us. We're just not reaching a lot of new people. But
People can
there's
share
so,
us though, and that's
yeah,
usually that's
yeah.
a better way anyway. They've really weeded out the trolls for us, haven't they?
Oh, zero trolls. Nobody trolls me anymore or you because there's no point, right?
Right.
Well, I'm finding that TikTok is really awake. And you're not allowed to say woke anymore because woke means extremely liberal and extremely like, do not buy Mr. Potato Head. I'm woke.
Right.
I don't know why. Why is Mr. Potato Head banned? I can't remember. I don't know. It is though, right? He's banned by the woke people.
No, I don't know anything about it. I think they just
Don't
changed names
read
or
Dr.
yeah.
Seuss. I'm woke. So they've stolen our flippin' woke from Matrix, where we could all go, "Hey, yeah, I'm woke. I took the red pill. I see the truth." They've even taken that word away from us, so they can have it. Now we're just what? We're awake. We're
Right.
not woke. We're awake.
It's another hijacking.
Another hijacking, but they can have it. We'll come up with other things. They're not going to win. We win. We win because it's in human nature to be free. It's in human nature to create. It's in human nature to love, and it is in human nature to nurture. So what they're doing, there's no way that in any possibility I can look at all the possible timelines, and there's no way they can win, because when they do what they're doing, they are fighting human nature. They're fighting God. And you think a couple of humans running around with too much power and too much money are going to win over God, over the entire universe? No.
They're
No.
igniting the fire in people.
They're igniting the fire in people. They're kicking them awake. They're going, here, wake up, and giving them a good kick. And people are going like, what? Okay, I have to say it. I know we're not supposed to get political, right, for all kinds of reasons. But the latest thing out there, and I never know if this is true or a psyop, just to upset people more, is that Bill Gates wants to dim the sun. And he's doing it with Harvard. So look it up, guys. And they got this whole plan on how to dim the sun so that they can slow down global warming. But we know global warming isn't a thing because places are getting colder, places are getting hotter. We have climate change, which is due to the grand solar minimum. So maybe they're saying we're going to dim the sun because they know the grand solar minimum is a thing and they want us to think they're in charge of it. They're controlling the grand solar minimum, right?
That's crazy. You think he's got enough on his plate already?
I don't know. I don't believe anything I hear anymore, anything I see anymore. None of it is real. You know, Israel, Israel. Who got to get a country that means reality? I'm Israel. Israel is real. How did that work out? Anyway,
Right.
so none of this is real, guys. It's all based on, if you're going to approach the world afraid, then you're going to get a very scaredy cat world. And if you're going to approach the world, the matrix, with love, you're going to get a very loving world. You'll see what you put out comes back at you.
It really is a choice to get on the love train or get on the fear train.
Yeah. And none of us here are on the fear train. We left the fear train years ago, didn't we? I mean, I don't even think we ever were on the fear train when we all met in 2017.
Yeah.
That's what drew us together. It was like, well, there's a place to go on YouTube that isn't full of doom and gloom and fear. And, you know, I came to
Absolutely.
you because everybody was saying that CERN was causing the Mandela effect. And you're like, I'm not too certain about that. What if something else is causing it?
Yeah. And that's still one of those things where I still considered it, but what are you going to do with it? Nobody's going to let you in there to investigate or start poking around and asking questions. I don't live over there. I know I'm not going there.
No,
So we'll set that
no.
on the shelf until something comes in, but why not look elsewhere? And
Yeah,
yeah,
it's just more of the Illuminati saying we're in charge of everything. We're even causing the Mandela effect. You know, it's like anything that happens, they are trying to catch up. They're like, oh my God, how do we control this so that it serves only us? It serves the few.
hmm
What do we? We'll just tell everybody that we're doing it. You know, we'll imply that we're doing it. And actually, they're doing it because they're trying to catch up with what the universe is doing and all the changes happening around us right now. They have no clue. In fact, we're probably more in touch with what's happening to reality than the people in charge of Earth are in touch because they're
I'm so glad you
so
said that because that was my thought with the whole thing. When I first looked around, I thought, man, they're trying to keep it quiet. But then the more I like caught people that I would have thought would have been in the in crowd and known about it, kind of get caught off guard, and you can see that look in their face. They didn't
they're
know
like,
about it. They had no
huh?
idea about it. They should have known. If they were in the in crowd, they would have known. And I've seen enough in crowd people not know about the Mandela effect because
No.
of
And why is
just
the government silent on it?
yeah.
Why are authoritative mainstream scientists silent on it? They don't know how to approach it yet.
hmm
You know, at some point, I expect them to come out and say, ha ha ha, joke's on you guys. We've always been causing it. We've always been in control of this thing. Don't believe it.
But for the most
Don't believe
part,
it.
most of the changes don't have any like monetary value. And changing, cutting off part of a T or doing. I mean, you can look at like Stofers and say that was some kind of quantum corporate takeover of a Stouffer stovetop stuffing or something. You could go there with that, but most changes aren't. I mean, like the thinker, it doesn't benefit anybody financially to
No.
change the. You know what I mean?
I got caught with a brand new green needle brainstorm that was only for me. So my friend, I've been doing some of the Sanskrit chants, which are really interesting because that's like one of the oldest spoken languages is Sanskrit, and the chants are quite beautiful. And one of them was Shreem Brazi, and this Dr. Pillai was saying Shreem Brazi 1,008 times. And I'm like, I don't even know if I can listen to that for that, but I'm going to see what it feels like, how my brain changes if I do. And then you chant along a little bit and listen. And as I was, the words started to morph after about an hour. And I was like, whoa, if I think this way, it sounds like this. But right before he says Shreem Brazi, if I think this way, then it sounds like something completely different. And I got to do the green needle brainstorm with myself with two words that nobody else was listening to. So I
Wow.
realized that is a thing. That is a thing. And there's a message in there. It's saying what you expect to hear is what you do hear. So then I played the Mamas and the Papas, California Dreaming, and I wanted to see if I listened to the line, I got down on my knees and I began to pray, which is how I remember it. And then if I would think, I would just play it over and over and over. Right before they say it, sing it. I got down on my knees and I pretend to pray, which is what it's changed to. I could control what I heard. I can hear, I began to pray if I wanted to, just by thinking began right before they say it. And I could control and hear pretend to pray as long as I thought the word pretend 2 seconds before they sang it,
Even with the background singers?
even with the background singers. I could
Wow.
control, I could control whether that Mandela effect existed. Okay, this is how crazy this is getting. I can now control Mandela effects, not for you guys, but I can control the Mandela effects for me based on what I
On your
think
perceptions,
in my
anyway, yeah.
perception
Because the
before
lyrics
I
have still
experience them.
changed. Yeah, I think. Right.
I don't know. Did
Yeah, the
they? Did the
lyrics have
lyrics?
changed. Yeah, the lyrics say pretend, officially say pretend.
Okay.
But it could have always been that way, and then everybody heard what they wanted. Is what
I can hear it
a
either
valid
way
point.
now.
Yeah, it's a valid point.
It depends on me whether I hear that Mandela effect or not.
And if anything can make you hear something wrong, I think religion could definitely make it. I'm not going to hear pretend. I'm going to hear begin to pray. Right.
I can hear whatever I want, you guys.
Right.
That's how much I am becoming the master of my own matrix. Now that's really cool for you guys because you're like, oh, that's interesting, Eileen. Maybe I'll try that too. But for the Illuma donkeys, that is not cool. It is not cool if everybody here sharing a matrix is in charge of it. They're like, whoa, now what do we do? Right?
That's why I think they're pouring in so many distractions right now. Trying to stop
So
the love
many.
train.
And I will not hate on any race no matter what they do. So they're really going to have to pull out something big. I will no, don't pull out anything big. I will not hate anybody no matter what they do. So they're already in my world beyond the point of having any influence over my feelings. And
Absolutely.
everybody needs to get to that place where you are the master of your matrix, which means you're the master of your thoughts and you're the master of your feelings. End of story. That's all you have to master is your thoughts and your feelings. Once you do that, you're in charge.
That's how you're in the world but not of it, or basically stepping out of the matrix, because you can't step all the way out,
Yeah.
and you have to operate within it. But you become an
And then people
outlier
go,
to the system. You're not being
you,
controlled and
they can't
manipulated,
touch
and
you.
right, you see it right away. When I see mainstream media, I'm like, oh, so that's what they're pushing right now, right? If
Yeah.
they're saying one thing, then I know that it must be the opposite. I mean, you start
Yeah.
recognizing it's not, the programming isn't working anymore.
You are Neo. You are the one. Neo means one. Neo rearranged, right? Or backwards or whatever is one.
Yeah.
You're the one. You're the one in charge of this world and this matrix. And then people go, oh, I still have to get up and go to work in the morning. I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm just seeing that that is not important. What's important is your thoughts and your feelings. It's not important so much, don't they say, what happens to you as how you react to it. Like, okay, something happens and one person breaks down and screams and shouts, and the other person's like, yeah, whatever. How you react to things is what really matters. So control your thoughts, control your feelings, be who you want to be, and be who you want others to be. Like, if you want people to be loving and kind and generous and supportive of you, then be that. Be what you want others to be, because there are no others. They are you and you are them. And as soon as you realize that, then the world gets a lot easier, you know?
Absolutely. So you were mentioning, were you talking about a book when you were talking about the game?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Is that a book
I'll
you just
co-
finished?
no, I'm halfway through. Oh, that one? No, I've been doing that online through articles and websites and YouTube. It's
And what's
called
it?
The Gamers. It's The Gamers Theory of the Universe. And there's scientists who are seriously getting into the gamers. What they really mean is the virtual reality view of the universe, but they call it the gamers theory of the universe. And I'm really into it. I'm just like, I see it, I feel it, I get it. So the other book I wanted to share today has nothing to do with this stuff, because we never plan what we're going to talk about anyway. We never even email each other and say, what are we talking about today? It's a book called, it's been around for 3 or 4 years. My sister Leslie gave it to me and I finally got around to reading it. It is amazing. It's called The Fourth Phase of Water.
By
A
Gerald
group of,
H. Pollock.
thank you.
Dr. Gerald H. Pollock. Yeah.
Thank
Pollock.
you. He's a real scientist and he's taking you through what we've known about water for at least 100 years, and he's recreating it all in his lab and going, oh my gosh, I've just realized that water is plastic, it's plasma, therefore it does hold information, it holds memory. And of course he doesn't mention Emoto, who is this amazing scientist who everybody ignores because he spoke to water and it created beautiful crystals when he froze it, because he said he loved the water, and then he hated on the water and said fear, war, you can even tape it to the water and write on paper. And then he froze that water and the crystals were ugly and disordered and scary and sad and sick looking. So everybody ignores this wonderful, amazing man, Dr. Emoto, who showed the world that what feelings and what words you project, water will pick up and hold and remember. Now, why is that important? Because our bodies are 70% water. The earth is 70% water. A cell is like 90% water. So water is everywhere. And some people say water is life. And if water holds emotions and
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There we go. You're back. You were gone for a second. You
oh,
said
that's
if
because I'm
water
getting excited about it. So
you said if
the
water
heart energy.
holds
Wah!
you said if water holds memory, that's where it cut
Okay.
at it.
If water holds memory, which is now being proved in the fourth phase of water, as well as Dr. Emoto's work, and the earth is 70% water and the human body is 70% water, what does that say about the power of your thoughts, feelings, and words?
Absolutely.
You can program your body for health or sickness. You can program your children for health or sickness or success or failure or anything. You can program the world. The world is full of water, and water is listening and absorbing your thoughts, your feelings, and your words.
Yeah.
So words, like the Bible said, first, what was there? First there was light, and then there was the word, or was there first the word?
Yeah.
Words are important. Words program your body and the world around you, because everything is water. And the other thing that I'm only halfway through it, he rediscovered 100 years later, all this is being kept, on the quiet. There are people who do know this already, but they don't want everybody to know it, right? Water has an EZ zone, EZ. It's called an exclusion zone. When water touches a surface, whether it's a lake, the ocean, or this cup. Okay, I've got water in this cup today. I don't know if you can see it, probably not. When water hits a surface, it creates an exclusion zone where it empties itself of all properties. It's 100% pure, 100% clear, and that creates a crystal. So the way a crystal forms is it starts with water, usually in a cave or underground somewhere where there's heat, and the water starts dripping, and it's mixed with minerals. And then where the water goes, the EZ zone, the exclusion zone, pushes out all the impurities. It's like, ooh, get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that. So now all you have is pure water. And then past the EZ zone, you've got the impurities of what was in the lake, in the ocean, in the cup, right? So that's how memory works. That's how water remembers things, is because there's this pure zone in the water when it touches a surface, any surface, like how about a cell membrane? That's touching a surface where it pushes out all the impurities, and it's programmable. It's like, program me. What are you going to program that pure water with? Love or hate? Happiness or fear? And the way we get to program water in our cells and all around us in this world, this matrix of worldly, watery matrix that we're in, is through our thoughts, our feelings, and our words. So if you guys can go read The Fourth Phase of Water and Dr. Emoto's work, I think you're going to realize you're a flippin' magician here. You do the magic here with your thoughts, your feelings, and your words, because water is all over the place, creating a pure zone of complete purity, waiting for you to program it.
So my question is, how do you increase the EZ zone? Can you increase it or purify
it? Increases on its own based on volume, and it creates a charge. Here's where we're getting into really cool territory. Okay, so all the Illuminonkeys go la 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 la, and don't listen, Illuminators, because water, when it creates an EZ zone, creates a charge. The negative charge is in the exclusion zone of pure water, waiting to take your thoughts and words and things. The rest of it that gets pushed into the impurities and the elements and, a little magnesium and a little bit of this, compound or atom or whatever, that takes a positive charge. And because water creates its own negative and positive charge, it is a battery. It is nature's free, clean energy. And so now he's in this book, The Fourth Phase of Water, going, well, now that it's a battery providing power, put your little electrodes in there and your flashlight's going to light up, because the water is creating a negative zone and a positive zone. Okay. What powers it? What gives the water the power? And what he found out gave the water the power was, drumroll, can everybody guess what it is? Sunlight.
Intention? Oh, sunlight?
But I think it's intention as well. Sunlight.
That's so funny that you just said that, because remember how I was intuitively led to run my bathwater through the sunlight as I'm taking my...
I do.
Yeah. And I just thought, well, at least it's increasing my intentions, because if I feel like it's doing something, I know it's doing something, But
and who
I
wants
felt
to
like
dim
even
the
more.
sun?
Right.
Who wants to dim it so that it's not hitting the water? Something's going on here. Wakey, wakey time.
Makes
everybody.
you wonder, like, if the yellow sun's shifting into white has sped things up, and they're like, oh,
definitely.
This is
The sun is shifting. The sun is changing. It's interacting with the water in our bodies.
There's so many colors everywhere. There's like iridescence everywhere. You just pay attention to the clouds. You'll see rainbows where you just wouldn't normally see them.
Unbelievable. And rainbow animals and rainbow bugs, rocks, trees.
Beautiful colored animals now. And actually, we're going to be presenting some on this upcoming IMEC.
I can't wait.
I think it's Wednesday.
I can't wait. Is it Wednesday?
Give it a plug, everybody. You guys the exact time, you guys. It's Eastern. I want to make sure
I don't want to miss it.
Okay, it's going to be Wednesday the 28th at 3:30 Central, 4:30 Eastern.
Okay, or it's a late one. It's a little, or has it always been that late? I don't know. You guys, it's happening. It's all happening. The world is changing. The sun is changing. And this is where the magic happens. Read The Fourth Phase of Water. Read Dr. Emoto. Nobody's going to tell you are the magician here, because you are aware. Your consciousness is here. So you make the magic happen. Because I do believe our intentions, our thoughts, and our feelings are running our personal reels, our personal ones. But there's a bigger reel that's running. And I'm telling you, water is miraculous. It is. It is miraculous. And without water, there's no life in this matrix.
Exactly. I mean, as a starseed light worker type person, that's the single most important thing you can do without any direct interaction with trying to convince somebody or debate or whatever. If you're just sending that person love, you're energizing their water with love. I mean, it's going to do them good. But if you're sitting there like, why won't they listen? And you're going to bed angry and you're sending the negative, then that's what you're putting in their water. So what do you want to put in their water? Would you rather just let them live like they want to live and give them love, and hopefully they'll just evolve the way they evolve, right? Wake up the way they wake up.
Tell us about the leaky bucket. What happens when you're giving hate and fear out everywhere and going, the world sucks. Oh my God, I hate this. I hate this. I hate this.
You're bringing it into your experience. Yeah.
Your water in your body with that exclusion zone is absorbing that feeling of, I hate the world. I hate this person. I hate this. I hate that. I hate that. I'm sorry, but your body is filling up with hate, and you are going to experience the side effect of hate in your life and in your body. And if you're sending out all that love, 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 I love it, I love it, I'm going to help it, I'm going to make it wonderful. And even if it's not wonderful yet, I'm just going to love it some more. You are filling up your own body, your water in your body with love. And you're just going to feel that and have good health and happiness. And you're going to attract good people to you and good experiences because you're sending out so much love.
Exactly. That's why you see, even with information, because there's like a whole information thing going on right now, getting information out and memes and things like that. And sometimes memes can be truthful, but hurtful or negative in a sense that, sure, it gets out information, but you don't feel good when you read it or experience it. And not all memes are going to be good, of course, but some of them are
Yep.
just sort of mean spirited. Do you know what I mean?
I do
Like,
know what you mean.
and
I'm playing on TikTok. TikTok's that ground where there's good and there's bad.
oh yeah, it's the
Jen's
Wild
Gems is
West
out
there,
there too. So
right?
please go see our channels because we are playing on TikTok and we're putting the positive in TikTok.
That'd
We
be
are like
awesome.
hitting it with the positive. Yeah.
Yeah, if you will drop your TikTok link
Okay.
in the chat, so if
Mine's just
somebody's
Eileen Colts and Jen's is Jen's Gems.
what?
And we're like, oh, we're so brave. Two old ladies on TikTok together. So we always like each other's stuff. But Jen's she's doing a lot over there. Oh my God. She is sharing her Mandela world. And I'm not kidding you. On YouTube, she had our community and another couple of communities where she got some love. But on TikTok, she could be seen by like 5, 10, 50, 100, 200,000 people. And they will literally give her a heart, like
Wow.
250,000 people, because TikTok is the world of the young. It's where the young are playing, because they love it there. And there's a lot of positivity there anyway without us.
Hmm.
But we're bringing like the spooky magic to TikTok. We're bringing like, you are in charge of this matrix, so make it a good one, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually encouraging when I look around because you can tell there's a bunch of awake people, a bunch of kids that have seemed to figure it out at 20, like what it's
Oh my
taken me
God,
my whole
everybody
life.
on TikTok's awake. The young, the middle-aged, the old, the white, the black, the red, the yellow, the brown, the purple, the green. It's like everybody's awake on TikTok. So I'm a real fan of TikTok, but I know there's some garbage out there too that you're like, oh, I didn't want to see that. You do get hit with that,
Right.
and you just gotta flip fast. You just gotta, when you get to the yuck, just flip it up really fast.
That's
So,
hilarious.
yeah, they haven't gotten to TikTok yet like they have to the other social media sites. So it's very, very truther oriented over there. And
Oh,
I
it's
don't own TikTok. Sorry, I'm not promoting it. It's not my thing.
yeah. I don't even think I have. I have the app, but every time I try to like something, it's like, oh, you need to create an account. I'm like, yeah, it's all right. I'll just watch. I'll be an observer. I don't need to.
So go watch me and go watch Jen. I only put 3 up. She's got like 3 million up. I mean, she doesn't mess. She doesn't waste time. She doesn't mess around.
Right. So I don't even think I can search for people. If I can't click the link, I don't think I can. I think you have to have an account.
Oh, okay. Well, that's all right. I've already told you what we're doing over there. We're
That's
playing.
exciting though.
We're the Mandela oldies. I shouldn't say that, right? Playing over there, but we're having fun.
Hey, we're all playing. It's like whether we realize it or not, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, thank you for letting me share so much today, especially about the fourth phase of water. Do yourself a favor, go read the book
That's awesome.
and be a powerful creator in your matrix. My whole goal in this lifetime is to not only be a really good mother and daughter and sister and friend, is to empower people, let them feel powerful, and go off and see what they create,
Yeah.
in a loving way. Let them be lovingly powerful.
Well, what do you think would be a good topic for today? Did you?
I don't know, something along those lines.
Yeah.
Something along the lines of, let everybody in this matrix that we call Earth see and feel their own power to create the life they are leading. And if it's a life full of pain, they have the power to flip that switch and create a life that is full of joy and happiness and appreciation. I mean, Renee and I were chit-chatting quite a while ago, and we both needed to remind each other to do the daily gratitude, to do the gratitude journal or prayer daily, so
Hmm.
that we could start creating a more grateful experience. And as soon as both of us started to do that, boom, everything switched, everything changed.
You really do get back what you put your focus into and intention and intent because I don't know. For a while there, I was like getting caught up with stuff and went back in. I'm just so much happier now. Just taking a little peek is all I need.
Yep, yep. And we don't ignore what's going on around us. She did a movie, and she's getting awards on domestic violence and trafficking. So she is not ignoring that. But then on the flip side, she's also doing shows on how to increase love
Hmm.
in your community. So it's like looking at the negative and not absorbing the negative, and flipping the negative into the positive and
Yeah.
saying, well, I don't like that, so I'm going to like shower that with love, and I'm going to change that into a more positive experience for people.
Yeah.
So I can't really describe it, because it's like having a foot in both worlds and both camps makes you the matrix manager. Because in one foot, you're in the matrix and you're going, oh, it's a little chilly in here. I want to heat it up. And then on the other side, your foot is in outside of the matrix so that you can change the matrix. It's not like ignoring the matrix, it's like acknowledging what's going on around you and then changing it.
Right.
It's a little different. It's like being in both camps.
It's kind of like just realizing that you are everything's sort of a reflection to some extent, and then changing the inside, and kind of like just your perception of what you were saying about hearing things. You begin to perceive things in a much different way.
Yeah, and then suddenly I can hear what I want to hear, and it
Right.
actually changes.
Yeah.
I can't prove that to anybody because they might not hear what I'm hearing.
But it doesn't matter what they're hearing as
Doesn't
long as you're
matter.
hearing what you want to hear, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And at least I guess I'm doing it for love, peace, and unity. I guess it would matter if I was out there trying to do it all selfishly for myself. Then people be like, well, that kind of matters because you're being selfish. But I'm not doing it selfishly. I'm doing it in a unified, loving way. So that can only help others, right?
Right.
Because they'll go, oh, that's just being selfish, Eileen. You're hearing what you want to hear and you're seeing what you want to see. How selfish of you. And I'm like, but I want to see unity and love and cooperation and compassion. I want to see the system evolve in a healthy way and not get stuck in a negative decline.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then I'm not being selfish. I'm doing it for the right reasons.
And when we do that, we benefit the most from it. Going that route is the best for ourselves. We just don't realize it because we were.
Yeah, but then, a Buddha or a Jesus would then tell me, you are being selfish. You want the world to be loving and peaceful. Well, that's very selfish. And I'm like, okay, if I step above and outside myself, that is a selfish act. So,
Right. Because what about the people that enjoy fighting? We know there's
what about
people
the
like
people
that.
who enjoy fighting and they like chaos?
Yeah.
I'm not being very thoughtful about their needs, am I?
Well, I think that's a good one. So, what
Okay.
would you say? How would we classify that?
I don't know how we're going to word it, guys.
Valor or bravery or what is that?
How do you
Just
become a
thinking like
matrix
heart.
manager? How do you become a heart based matrix manager?
Right. Because
I don't
that's when
know.
you're tapping into the true life force, is love.
That
And,
is, I mean, when it comes to what grows life, what evolves life, it's going to be the love. It's not going to be the hate. That's going to stifle life.
exactly.
That's not going to help it prosper. So we're getting very biblical with our words. That's what really stuns me sometimes, is that if I go really deep, I wind up back in the Bible and I'm like, what? Where did I take that turn? So there's some ancient words and thoughts that have been given to us, although the churches who control the doctrine don't really exercise it. You know, they
Hmm.
don't exercise the wisdom that they've been given.
Right.
Hmm.
Well, I'd have to say my mom, although there was all the religious stuff tied to it, some of the core things she taught me, I've circled right back around to it. You know what
Right
I
back
mean?
to him.
And, I've taken off some of the other stuff, or maybe I'll view it completely differently, maybe less religious or less dogmatic. But, at the end of the day, I still do trust the divine, and I just think of things a little bit differently. And I do know that there's a higher power that loves me and is looking out for each and every one of us, and
Yeah,
that we all
every
have a,
single
a
one of us
whole
count.
entourage of some sorts of helpers, that seem to step in whenever we need it or whenever we ask. So,
And whenever we ask and it is given. There's so many truisms that are just true that I keep bumping back into. Like, if there's somebody in your life that's upsetting you for whatever reasons, whether it's their fault or your fault or both of you, see them differently. See them the way you want to see them. Think of them the way you want to see them, as loving and helpful and grateful. And then suddenly they're going to start acting that way. They actually, their water or experience of you absorbs what you're throwing at them. And they're like, yeah, I am cooperative. I am loving and helpful. I just am.
The answer's been right here in front of us the whole time, you know what I mean? As far as like using our power of intention. And can you imagine if all of us were doing that all the time?
Well, I'll tell you what, I want the nice ones to do it all the time. And the meanies who already know, because they
Well, they're
already
not
are
watching
doing it all
us.
the time. Exactly.
Right.
So, how to become a matrix manager. This is what I think we graduates us out of this duality, is when you become a matrix manager. Despite the duality, in spite of the duality, you can still maintain your own equilibrium and ethical equilibrium. You're still okay. Even in the duality, you are okay. Maybe that's part of the meditation then.
Well, it sort of came to me like when you're awake and you're affecting, if you think about it like terminals, like if you've got this floor full of computers, they're all networked together. We're all like terminals, like the Grand Central Terminal. We're all plugged into it. If we want to hack the matrix, we're already the terminal. We do it from within.
Oh
We
my
go
God, I
within.
totally get that.
Yeah.
I feel like we are the terminals of Earth. Like Earth is this living being, this moving, living being. And suddenly Earth has these terminals, maybe call them hairs, that are humans. And they're all doing their thing, but they're still connected to Earth. They still are Earth, right?
And just like the strings on a guitar vibrating will cause another one to start vibrating without
Yes,
plucking
if
it,
you
just the
vibrate,
vibration.
pluck one string, the strings next to it start
And
to
we're the same way.
vibrate.
You know,
We're the same way.
when we're vibrating, then all of the other terminals around us that are just sort of on autopilot
They're going like, whoa,
they
where's
begin
that
to
vibration
entrain
of
to
love
our
coming from?
vibration and it pulls them up, right?
Yes, definitely. And then when you look at water being in your cells and in the earth, and you realize water is miraculously absorbing what you put out.
Hmm.
What you put out is what you get back. What you put out is what other people feel. So it's like, well, who would want to put out anything bad if they knew they were that powerful? Hmm. Hmm. Okay. I hope this meditation works. I'm sure it will. It always does. Whatever happens, happens.
Oh, it'd be perfect. It always is.
It always is. And I'm not bragging. Okay. I'm just saying it's always with you guys in the moment. We're together. We are this meditation when we're together and intending together. We're it. We are the experience. Even
Absolutely.
all those who listen to this in the future, you're
I'm so
part of
glad
it
we're doing
now.
this. So thank you so much for doing this. This is awesome.
Thank you for having me do this. My gosh, do you know it's April and we've been doing it for 3 years?
It's wild. I can't
Years.
hardly believe it's April. It seems like, gosh,
Isn't
years.
today Earth Day?
I believe it was 2 days ago,
Oh, did I? Okay, I kind of missed it. It's not today.
22nd, I believe.
Oh, okay. Well, in my world, it's Earth Day today.
Yeah. That's funny you said that because someone emailed me and they're like, I thought Earth Day was either the 21st or the 23rd, but I guess it met in the middle on the 22nd for me now or something. So,
Okay, so for me, it's the 24th. It's like Yanni or Laurel,
right.
brainstorm or green needle. Today's Earth Day for Eileen. So please join me on Earth Day in my brain.
Every day's a holiday anyway, right?
Every day's a holiday, right? Because I'm a matrix manager.
That's
Okay, and so
right.
are you. You're the matrix managers. I'm gonna just go on silent. I'm gonna take off my video and I'm gonna have a drink of water before we start. So I have to do this one thing at a time. First the video, because I don't do it very often anymore. And then I'm trying not to disconnect myself, basically, why I'm going slow. Here goes the
No problem.
audio.
I'm rusty too, so that's okay.
Okay, good. Thanks. Okay, so just bringing the microphone in, had a nice drink of water. You guys go ahead and get really comfortable, get really settled into whatever is supporting you. If you're sitting on a couch or laying on a bed or whatever you're doing, don't do this if you're driving or you need to be focused and awake and have good attention. You can turn it off now and come back later, and do it when you can close your eyes and just really relax. Go ahead and settle into whatever is supporting your physical body. And how does that feel just to let go? Just let go. Let your muscles go. Don't fall out of the chair. And take a deep, relaxing breath in. Go ahead and fill up those lungs with clean, healthy, living, loving oxygen. Hold it for just a moment and then exhale fully. Just let it all out. And as you do, let your muscles just let go and relax that much more. Go ahead and take a nice, deep, relaxing breath in. Really fill up the bottom of your lungs this time. Tummy pooches out. And exhale. Let it all out. Every ounce of oxygen, let it out of your lungs. Take a third relaxing breath in. Hold it as long as you like. And let it go. Let it out. Let it all out. And now really kind of relax your feet, your ankles. Let your calves go, your knees, your upper legs. Now let your torso go. Your arms, let your shoulders just relax and settle where they want to settle. Your neck, relax the muscles in your neck. How about your cheeks, your forehead? Can you relax your teeth, your mouth, your jaw? Relax your eyes. Let your eyelids just be where they want to be. Relax the top of your head. Just enjoy that feeling of pure relaxation. And when you're ready, you can send down a grounding cord from your root chakra into the center of the earth. And you can start to do the heart maths breath. Go ahead and breathe in through your heart chakra and exhale through your heart chakra. Breathe in through your heart. Exhale when you're ready. Don't hold it. Make sure you're breathing continuously in and out of your heart at a pace that's really comfortable for you. Now, if you like, you can draw in a beautiful, clear, crystalline color on the in-breath through your heart. You can let it fill your body up and exhale that color back out and let it fill up your room. Inhale that color again, fill up your body with a beautiful color that matches one of your chakras or all of your chakras, and exhale that color back out. And what you're doing is you're letting your body pick the color based on which chakra needs the most energy right here, right now. And you're allowing that color to heal your body, your physical body, your mental body, your emotional body, and your spirit body. And now we're just going to virtually hold hands like we've been doing for 3 years now. And we're going to imagine doing something that we love doing. Just see yourself, hear it, feel it, sense it. Completely immerse yourself in doing something that you really, really love. And now we're going to intend together that we are, you are, I am the matrix manager here. I run the show. You run the show. Together, we run the show. This reality is ours, not only to experience, but to program. We get to program the life that we lead. We get to decide the life we experience with all others around us. Are we going to program that with love? Yes. Kindness? Yes. Cooperation? Yes. We are going to decide that every moment we are aware in our physical bodies, in this matrix that we call Earth in the 21st century in 2021, that's just a number, but it defines who we are, and where we're operating. We get to decide how we experience Earth, how we experience family, how we experience our neighbors, our friends, our coworkers, our pets. So go ahead and think. Think with your heart center, your heart chakra. How do you want to experience Earth? What is Earth like for you? How do you want to experience your family, your friends, other human beings? Go ahead and see them being and doing and saying and acting and feeling in a way that is absolutely at their best, highest levels. And put yourself in that picture. How would people treat you if you were on New Earth, 5D Earth? If you were in heaven on Earth, how would others approach you? What would they say? What would you be doing? And just allow that to happen and allow that to be. And if there's anybody that in particular you occasionally experience conflict with or disagreements or bad feelings, whatever, just see that person as perfect. They're already perfect just the way they are. And they're kind and they're cooperative and they really hear you. But more importantly, you really hear them. When they talk to you, you really hear them, what they're really saying. And then just feel the peace. Feel the peace come over you and the other person. And realize that you are a matrix manager. You get to program your experience here. And you program it through your feelings and your thoughts, your expectations, your intentions, your words, your desires, your actions. Every single minute moment of your consciousness is programming your experience in the matrix because you are a matrix manager. And now that you know that, you can decide whether you wish to program the matrix, the reality, with love and peace, compassion, cooperation, joy, excitement, fun, love, or other. You get to decide what you program your world with, and you get to decide what you program the world with. We'll just go silent for 3 minutes and just really experience your own matrix management power. Okay, so when you're ready, just take a nice, deep, relaxing breath in. Really fill up your lungs with that clear, clean oxygen. And exhale out anything that doesn't serve you. And open your eyes. You can start to move around, maybe stretch your shoulders a little bit, move your neck, and come back.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Eileen.
Thank you. I felt a tremendous amount of energy and power coming from the group today because I closed my eyes and got really dizzy. When we went silent, I was like, my head was spinning.
Yeah. I think that's a really powerful thing for us all to do, just to send out love. I mean, there's nothing like the power of love, you
There's
know?
nothing like the power of love. And it felt so palpable today.
Yeah.
What time is it? 3:44. 4:4. No, what time is it by you? 2:44. Yeah, it just felt palpable. It felt like everybody knows how this works here, and we're all just going to make it the best place possible for the most amount of people, for everybody. We're going to make it good for everybody and good for everything. Like, animals shouldn't suffer just because we want to eat them. So we're going to make it good for animals too. And we're going to make it good for Earth. And Earth's going to be really appreciative that we're making it really a better place than Earth would be without us.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Eileen, for being here and doing your wonderful gift,
Hey,
sharing your wonderful gift.
thanks for sharing Earth Day with me since I missed it.
No problem. Let me look at the chat and make sure I didn't miss anything here.
Or that we're still on. Are we on? Are we
Yeah,
out
we're
there?
definitely on.
We're
Alva
broadcasting.
says it was beautiful. Thank you,
Hi,
Eileen.
Elva. Oh my
Lots
gosh,
of
it's so good
beautiful
to see
hearts and
you.
stuff.
Love you guys. I will go back probably like in a half an hour and just read the whole chat as soon as it posts.
Let's see. Lark asked a question. Shane, in reference to the Wingmakers, did they not suggest to us when somebody went to the future that we go in the direction of organic?
Oh, did they?
Maybe loosely. I guess there was the path of going the technological path or going the more natural path, which I would think would be more organic, right?
I'm going organic.
Yeah,
I'm going
I would.
organic because I'm eating organic food and I'm not doing anything biotech with my blood or my life. But I am on a speaker and I am on the computer and I am on the internet. I'm just doing it organically. How about you?
Yeah, as organically as I can.
Yeah, me too. I mean, maybe other people want to merge with a computer and be an organic computer, but that's not my choice. So I'm not going that route in my matrix.
Oh, Jamie sent me a really cool link. Actually, I've seen this before. I'm going to share this with you guys in the chat. It's a water. Have you seen the water where they've got water running down and they run sound through this little
No,
hose and then it makes the water get all zigzaggy?
no. Thank you, Jamie.
It causes a standing wave pattern and the water follows the sound rather than the natural. It's really neat to see because it looks
I would
tricky.
love to see that. Really love to see that. I've seen the cymatic waves. Was watching Michael Tellinger this morning and he was showing the cymatic waves with sand where you play
Right.
a sound and then the sand goes into a pattern. I want
Yep,
to see
this
the
is actually
water.
liquid. Yeah, liquid, running liquid.
So, can we see that? Can I see that if I go in the chat?
Yeah, I'm actually going to send you, since you're not in the chat, I'll send you a
Oh,
private link
thank you.
just in case. But yeah,
It's so
everybody in
nice
the
to
chat.
review any questions because I don't have I don't have the chat on my screen.
Let's see, what else? Make sure I didn't miss anybody. Let's go. What's up? Good to see you.
Hey, so good to hear you. See ya.
Sandy. What's up, Sandy? Sandy does good meditations too.
Oh, hi
Let's see.
Sandy.
Ashley, what's up? Of course, Dana's here. I'm
Good to
trying
see you
to.
guys.
Karen, what's up? Gracie. I'm trying to find. I thought I saw a question. Ravney is here.
I haven't been on YouTube. I haven't seen many people's channels lately because I'm just into research. I'm just reading. I needed to read for a while. So don't think that I'm ignoring anybody. I'm not. I'm just not doing visual stuff. I'm just reading as much as I can.
That's interesting. Okay, April wrote, at one time I wrote words in the Mount White tanks. I'm not sure if that's a water tank or something, since we are made up of water. Farrah Fawcett hair. It worked.
Oh my gosh,
But-
April.
but
do
I
you
was
have
thinking-
it now, or did you have it back then?
But I'm thinking faucet. That's funny. You know, faucet
Faucet
water.
water.
That's interesting. The parallels with that.
Yeah. We can program the water that we drink. I guess we're supposed to bless everything we eat or drink. It's hard to remember that. It is.
Lots of love to Ruth, Susan, Alva. I don't know if I missed anybody. Pretty Darkly had to leave. She was here earlier. And everybody else watching now and later. Dead GPK was here. John Benny
Oh, God, it's so good to hear all your names popping up.
and Jody. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Jody, thank you so much for participating, listening, being with us for the Power of One for 3 years now. You guys are just amazing. And without your power, this just wouldn't do anything. It would just fall flat.
Yeah, it's amazing how much we can do when we come together like this. So
Absolutely. I
And
felt
we'll
it
be back
today.
in
Oh my
May.
God. We'll be back in May.
yeah. Let's see, that'll just be 1 month until, gosh, it's already the solstice after that. Or yeah, the summer solstice will be
So
in
maybe
June.
we should get together on the summer solstice if possible to do our
Yeah.
meditation. That would give it more oomph.
Yeah. So that'll
Yeah.
be 2 months away, but we'll be back next month for sure.
Yep.
So,
And it'll be around the 22nd, right? The summer solstice.
yeah. I don't know.
The
That's been
longest
kind of
day of
moving
the year.
around. Right.
I know it is moving around. Wasn't the last something on the 19th? And we were all like, what? The 19th? I think that
Right.
might have been the winter one.
Right, but I was also thinking, because it came up recently, you know, we were discussing how the equinox seems to be, the last time we were talking about it, because it was around the equinox, how people seem to wake up to the Mandela effect, and how the whole Earth seems to be at this point where it's the most the same. You know what I mean?
I do.
Both hemispheres have about the same amount of day and night. The weather's similar. Fall and spring are similar. So
It's all in
everyone's-
balance.
Yeah.
Everything's in balance. No extremes.
Yeah.
In the duality. It's like walking the middle path.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I
maybe
love
that's why
spring
it's
and fall.
powerful. Maybe that's why it's more powerful to intend on those kinds of days.
Yeah, absolutely. At any rate, we'll be here next month, you guys. Thank you so much, Eileen. We love you guys in the chat.
Love you
Watching
guys.
now and later. It's always now.
Thank you, Shane.
Thank you, too. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Peace.